Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach BJ. Come on in to this spotlight today. I have a special guest for you guys today. I'm going to wait till I start seeing people coming on, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's live Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach BJ, where I'm going to be spotlighting an awesome small business owner today. So come on in. I see people are beginning to try to get on here, so I'm going to give it a minute and let you guys come on. Welcome. In the meantime, as we see people coming on, I'm going to go ahead and just get started and open up everything. So, for those of you who are coming on for the first time, my name is Coach BJ. I am the host of Spotlight Tuesdays, and this is my newest platform that I started this year. It comes on every first and third Tuesdays of the month at noon. And the purpose of Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach BJ is to highlight a small business or a nonprofit organization that is doing great work, either in the greater Atlanta area or anywhere across the United States. And I want to spotlight them is twofold. One, to be able to show how they have stepped out on faith to either start their business or the nonprofit organization and utilizing the gift that God has given them. And I hope through these stories and the inspiration and the things that you hear from them, that you'll be able to look within yourself and tap into what makes you come alive, and in hopes that you will begin to look and see what your gift is, and what problem you're supposed to be solving for this world, or how are you supposed to be impacting a nation globally. So that's why I really put this platform out here, to inspire you to really look inside. And then also, if you're interested in any of their products or services, you can also reach out to them for that purpose. And if it's a nonprofit organization, to be able to look at volunteer opportunities with them, or to even see how you can be a part of their organization. So that is the purpose of Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach BJ. So before we get started, I always encourage everyone to go ahead and any questions you may have for our guests, to go ahead and put them inside of the chat. So therefore, our guests will be able to understand what questions or concerns you have as they begin to talk and as we begin to start this interview. And a lot of the questions may be answered towards the end, but if there are any real-time questions for our guests today, I will be watching out for those questions in the comment chat, and I will put them up on the screen for her to answer. Okay, so without further ado, our special guest today is CEO Angela McTair of Harlem Zen. And Angela and I actually met through me utilizing her services. I had a friend to tell me about her services. I was looking to get some laser hair removal, and she has also utilized my coaching services as well for her business. But at the time, I can tell you, when I met her, from the first day that I met Angela, I mean, she was just truly a breath of fresh air. And someone that she did a 45-minute consultation on the phone with me, guys, literally 45 minutes, I remember. And I did not let her off that phone, because I'm like, okay, I need to know that, you know what you're doing. You understand my type of skin, my medical issues that causes the heavy hair growth. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that she understood all of my needs. And then at that point, I said, I'm sold. And so I connected with her, made my appointment over a year ago now. Well, it'll be almost a year soon that I've made my first appointment with her. And so from there, it's just been a beautiful relationship, and she's amazing. And as you can see, my skin is looking really beautiful, as you can see. But she is definitely a blessing. And so I definitely wanted to spotlight her business, because she does great work, and just the passion she have around what she does. So Angela, I'm sure everyone would like to hear from you now. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you would like us to know about you before we get into Harlem Zen.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Bernitha. Thank you for finding us and for taking the time to learn about your skin and to ask the questions and do the research. That's one thing that I hope for so many others, that they will really take the time to invest in themselves and figure out how to work on things that they want to work on. So if we go to ancient history, I was a chemical engineer, my very first job. actually prehistoric times, me and my brother, we used to like to play and make concoctions. So always like mixing and putting together products, and eventually that became my career. When I finished my chemical engineering degree, I went and worked with a company that y'all probably know, Johnson and Johnson, for about 5 years. And I worked for all different types of skincare brands. And there was Neutrogena and Clean and Clear and Rock and all of these different things. I got to formulate, make products. And making products was just, it was my love. And then I got introduced to the business side of things, which was not at all my jam, because they're trying to make money, and I'm trying to make products. And so we had two different agendas.
Mhm.
A little hard for me because I really wanted to just kind of be free and make things. And, I wanted, if you made something really great, it wasn't necessarily the most actionable thing because the resale is really where the companies make the money. So they need you to come back and buy it again. Uh,
Right.
so those kinds of things kind of prompted me to go on and get my MBA. And then I studied the marketing side and how do you do the product development and funnel a product through and meet a consumer need. And so that was my second career. And corporate America was just never my thing, to be really honest.
Mhm.
So as I became more and more clear on that and got to realize that's not where I belonged, I had people who would come up to me and say, "Oh, your skin looks great," or whatever, ask me questions or how do you, and I'm like, well, you got to do this product and then you got to do this and you got to, and so that kind of evolved into me wanting to go to aesthetic school and figure out how to be more hands-on with people, because at each point where I really got dissatisfied in my career was when I couldn't see the result that I made this and now this thing has fixed a problem or it solved something for someone, or it's because money is great. You can get money and
Well,
but one thing that for me was very challenging was the fulfillment piece. I never felt like
mm,
what I did had mattered or changed someone's life or mattered in the grand scheme of things. And so I really had this quest where I was always striving or wanting to do something meaningful. Uh,
mhm,
so that's what I really have found now with Harlem Zen every day, either working with clients or working to improve our processes and systems so clients can have a better experience or experience a greater result. Those are the things that really feed me. So,
okay. So I guess that probably led me into my next question. You kind of tipped on it a little bit, but I guess I wanted to know kind of how you got into the industry. But one of the things I'm always curious about when I talk to business owner is, was it something you kind of discovered at a young age? Because I know you said you went into chemical engineering, but like, was chemical engineering something you wanted to do something different with, or it's just kind of like you stumbled across, kind of wanted to do this as you got older? Like, how did that work for you?
well, a lot of it was God, knowing what was in my heart to do and helping, obviously to guide me there. Uh,
Right.
I'd say for me, my skin was always a source of a lot of angst and concern. After those puberty years, like my skin just never got better. And it's like, you're supposed to grow out of this, right? Like, isn't there supposed to be a point where, you're now like an adult and your skin is clear? And I mean, I experienced every challenge, and just had big bangs so that I could hide behind it, and
Mhm.
all types of situations that allowed me to feel more confident. And it's like, wow, other people have these concerns too. So what can I do to help others be able to figure it out? So as I'm figuring it out for myself, I'm like, well, how can this be applied to others? So
Right.
that was a big piece of it, was just my own skin challenges. The women in my family, most of them grow facial hair. So that's a multi-generational kind of challenge that was
Mm.
always sooner or later. So
Mhm.
around those 20s, I was like, oh, what is that exactly? So that became a problem and it needed
Mhm.
to be solved, because I'm like, okay, I already have challenges with acne and breakouts, and then we're gonna add some hair to that. Like that's not gonna happen. So
Right.
I started seeking solutions, and in my seeking, I found that women of color typically cannot. And so, this was a while ago, but
Mhm.
at that time, it was very, very rare for women of color to be able to safely utilize laser services. And even now, it's a big concern. A lot of, especially the larger companies, are just now starting to invest or even recognize that this is a viable customer that should be served. And for a while, we've been really focused in that direction. So
Mhm.
my major concern was really trying to figure out how to fix this and then how to help others fix it as well. So that's really what got me into that industry.
Gotcha. And I heard you say earlier about as you got into the opening about corporate America, and that just wasn't for you. But what made you decide to become a business owner versus just working for one of the larger spas that was out there? Like, what made you say, you know what, I need my own business instead of me working for the industry? Because of course you have a love and a passion for it. And so I just wanted to know what made you say, you know what, yeah, I want to be a business owner versus me working for, one of these larger spas. What made you step out and do that?
It really was a control issue, to be really straightforward about it. Um, Things need to be done a certain way. To be really honest, our particular consumer set was not under consideration from those large organizations.
Hmm.
I saw a notice and I saved it because I was so disturbed by it. It said something like, "We're now serving darker skin tones," and it was from, I believe it was one of our competitors. I won't name names, but it was from 2018, and so it was like, excuse me, like we're just now um, deciding that this consumer group is worthy of investing in the right equipment and worthy of actually, paying attention to. So for me, I didn't see what I wanted to offer to the clients in the market. So it's like I had to create it because it really didn't exist from what I had researched. I felt really uncomfortable that all of these places that have been offering these services for decades were just now starting to say, oh, we missed somebody. Maybe we should do something for people with pigment in their skin.
Hmm.
Being kind of added on as an afterthought to me is insulting. And it's not endearing in terms of like, I trust you now. And I feel like, oh, you decided 15 minutes ago that you're going to work on skin of color. And now I should go in and trust your offering, or I should want to work for you, or you have something to teach me. I wasn't impressed, and I had studied business, and I felt pretty confident that I could put together something that was viable, because my first attempt at doing the services really was looking at purchasing a franchise. And so as I went through the process with the franchisor and I explained to them, I live in Harlem and, 90% of my clientele is going to be people of color, and you have XYZ machine, but I'm going to need ABC machines. And how do we do this? And they're like, oh, okay, well, you can work with us, but if you want the ABC machine, it's going to cost you this much more, like not $50-$100 more, it's like $100,000 more. And I'm like, for $100,000, I could probably put together the business myself. So those were the conversations that really kind of led me to it. I did explore not working for, but partnering with larger brands, and I thought, one, they haven't figured it out. They haven't tried to figure it out, and they're going to tax me excessively to for me to figure it out for them, and then I'm going to be the model that they're going to use elsewhere.
Yeah, no,
It was just a no on so many levels.
no.
So that was
Got you.
probably the only way that I could conceive to do it.
Right. Before I get into my next question, is someone that have a question for you. And so Deborah actually has a question, and she wanted to know, how can I stop hair from growing on my face?
Deborah, Come on through and see us. We got you covered. Well, one of the biggest things that I usually try to encourage people is to please put down the tweezer. I know it's satisfying, that moment of the zoink, and you get it out and everything's good now, but it's not good. And a lot of times, people, especially those who tweeze, end up with a lot of damage on their skin. So laser hair removal really is the safest and most effective way to preserve the integrity of your skin and to remove unwanted hair. So whenever we talk about the other options, shaving, a lot of times for some people can stimulate more growth. The waxing, for some people can be really damaging for the skin or very irritating to the skin. And guess what? You're going to have to do it forever. So laser doesn't have a magical endpoint. After we finish, you'll never see hair growing again. But what we do is we'll steadily, over the course of your process, reduce the growth until it is such a bare minimum, such a light little fuzz that you can decide, I want to continue or I can remove this. If you get to the point where you want to remove even a very light fuzz, we can do that for you. And then we will put you on a maintenance schedule where you would treat if people might have a hormonal imbalance or something else that's driving hair growth, then they'll probably be treating more frequently, but expect to treat at least once a year to maintain your results. And unfortunately, you'll look at some of the other companies that offer these services, and you don't get such a straightforward response. And that's what really concerns me, is that a lot of times people see these commercials and you treat 6 times and never more shall you ever see another hair. That's really not reality. Their body just doesn't work like that. Their bodies are always trying to heal themselves. It's always regenerating, and it's always, getting itself to where it can produce again. So especially if you're a healthy person, you're taking care of yourself. So healthy bodies grow hair. I always tell people that. Please don't feel that there's no way for us to work on it. There's absolutely solutions that will keep the hair clear for long periods of time where you don't have to worry about it. But it would require touch-ups to be able to maintain your result.
She did also ask where you're located, and I can tell you where she's located. She's located right off of Orland and Dahlgren, which is right off of Deborah, and we'll give you the address and information, but she's in the Decatur, kind of at South, East Atlanta area, whatever. So that's still good for the area that you're at. So yeah, so
yeah.
All right. So, and we'll continue to ask questions. So anyone that's looking and have more questions, we'll continue to answer those in between. So I'll continue my interview with Angela. So Angela, what are some of the challenges or obstacles you faced at the beginning when opening up your business? That's what I want people to know, because I think a lot of times people think it's easy, or maybe not easy, but I think people need to understand that there is going to be obstacles or challenges that you face when you're trying to open, but it shouldn't deter you from opening. But you should understand, like, do your research and do some things. So what were some of the things that you faced at the beginning when you opened Harlem Zen 6 years ago?
Wow. There's so many challenges. Where do I choose from?
But she's still here 6 years later, though. So that's what I want everybody to hear, because a lot of people want to give up. So that's why I like to ask my guests these questions. So go ahead.
Yeah. Praise God, we're still here. So actually my first spa business was a partnership. And it was in right in the middle of Midtown, New York, prime position, Bryant Park, 41st Street. If y'all know 42nd Street is where everything's popping. So it was excellent. And the woman that I worked with was, she's who I learned the laser from, and she's who introduced me to the laser. I learned from many people, and took the time to really invest in myself and travel around and learn from different experts. But in general, that was my first major hurdle, was coming in as a minority partner in a business and figuring out this person is a great operator and a horrible business person. Okay, I won't say horrible, but not ready to keep us out of the hot water that can happen if a business isn't handled a certain way. And that's just the thing, that people are brilliant in different areas. And I think what a lot of entrepreneurs fall into the trap of is trying to wear too many hats. I think that, that's definitely something that I have done over and over again. I need to learn from it, because it's a temptation to just say this needs to be done, so let me just do it. But you're not the person to do it. And so being able to really pay attention to where your strengths are and work in those areas will keep you out of so many challenges. Bringing on those professional team members, that was a huge challenge for me. Making sure you have the lawyer, the accountant, and believe it or not, a lot of these services, if you make use of the SBA and SCORE and all of these community organizations, like, you can get a lot of these services for free. So if you just do a little bit of the extra legwork to be able to get access to it, that's probably where I would say most of my challenges came in. Is, for me, trying to act in roles that I was not suited to, and not proficient in, or not an expert in. And a lot of times that's just what we're doing. We're like, oh, this needs to be checked. Got to check this box. Got to check that box. And in the urgency to get it done and to get set up and to get the business stood up, you end up with your foundation not as firm as it could be. So that really, for me, was where most of the challenges came from. I definitely think it was great to have those moments of believing in yourself and, okay, I can do this, I can figure it out. If I spent less time figuring stuff out that I could have delegated, I feel that we'd be a lot further along, because I would have really focused on the things that are in my genius zone. And so when you're working in your genius zone, stuff is easy, it's falling together, it's all, coming like it should be. And then when you're trying to look at a contract, or God forbid, write a contract or something like that, it's like, call a lawyer, please.
Yeah.
So that's where I would go with that answer, because it's definitely a huge challenge.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is just turn it over to you to talk about some of the things that I advertised to our viewers that you will be covering. And part of it is just to really talk about how laser treatment is safe. I know you kind of started out, answering Deborah's question about, laser removal, but just why it really is safe for your skin, and to really talk about some of the different types of skin regimens, because of course, before coming to you, I didn't realize there were like the different types of skin regimens that you taught me. And for me to be able to identify mine, because I think we just see products on, on commercials to say, oh, this will get rid of acne, this will get rid of this, but it may not be your skin type that product may be applicable to. So that's one of the things that I can say that I learned from you as to what my skin type is and what my regimen, because as I've been doing my regimen, it's just been great. I haven't had any issues with breakouts and those things. And just the difference. And of course, before coming to you, I didn't really know what the difference was between microdermabrasion and to chemical peels, until you kind of taught me what that does for my face, and really understand these services. So a lot of people say they get facials or get these various things, but they just think maybe it's just nice to do as self-care, but do you really know what you're, do you really know what you're doing? So I just wanted you to share with them kind of the difference and, between laser treatments and the skin different types and facial services that they can get, and kind of how does it impact their skin. So I'm just going to kind of let you take it away at this point.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you again for the wonderful question earlier. Laser is great for all skin tones. There are lasers that are engineered to work for every skin tone. So even though we've been told, oh, you have to be within a certain color palette, certain tone of your skin to be able to receive the services safely, if you have a technician who has been trained in working with skin of color, and you have the equipment that is engineered to be able to work appropriately for skin of color, boom, we can get a great service. So that's one of the huge myths that I really felt was important to debunk, because there are still a lot of people out there that are, oh, I don't know if I can do laser. I don't know if laser is right for my skin. And the question is valid, but the answer is yes. So really want to encourage people. And if you are concerned or nervous, then definitely have a consultation, or you can even have a test patch or something like that done where you can see in a small area, maybe in your armpit or something that's not so scary, where you can kind of see what will happen in the treatment and be able to relieve some of the fears and concerns surrounding it. So then, with respect to the whole skincare regimen thing, skincare regimens are so important. And it's amazing when you look at people, especially people of color, women of color, will have a really in-depth kind of hair care regimen. And so there's a lot of, steps and processes, and we go to the professional for these things, and we do these things at home. And then when it comes to the skin, it's like, okay, we got the Neutrogena face wash for $7.99, and we got the Palmer's cocoa butter for $3.99. And it's like, okay, like this is a large organ of our body, let's invest in it a little bit. And then we'll need a little bit less MAC and a little bit less Fenty Beauty, because we'll be comfortable in the skin that we're in. So
Right.
I really like to encourage people that if you're not sure what your skincare regimen should consist of, just reach out. We do free consultations every single day, video consults. They're kind of like telehealth appointments. So you'll be like this on the screen, and we will have conversation about what your skincare concerns are and what are the right products to alleviate them. So essentially, I will ask people to do a little quiz, which we have a wonderful app now, which somebody very special put together for us. So I want to just shout out Coach BJ for her IT technological background, her other one of her other many talents. So you can take a quiz if you're not really sure, or if you have specific issues or concerns, then you can have someone talk through with you and kind of craft a regimen. So at the very least, we want to be cleansing, moisturizing, exfoliating, and treating, right? So a lot of people will get the cleansing in. If they're a little bit more savvy, they'll get the cleansing and the moisturizing in. Hopefully your moisturizer, at least your daytime moisturizer, would contain an SPF, so you're also protecting the skin. Black does crack. We need skin that is going to be protected from the sun. Unfortunately, a lot of times, especially people of color, will feel that it's not necessary. And hyperpigmentation is one of the biggest concerns with respect to skin of color. So we absolutely want to put up that shield to protect, so that whenever we do receive the wonderful rays of the sun, it doesn't cause us to have hyperpigmentation or other skin concerns. Exfoliation is really important. And we're not talking St. Ives scrub here, folks, please. If you don't feel comfortable, finding a product to exfoliate with, something that's granular, for that manual exfoliation. There's chemical exfoliation. There's little wipes that you can use real easy to just go over the area, so the chemicals will do the exfoliating for you. Or you can use a cloth, and you can kind of buff and polish your skin to exfoliate. And then treatment. I can't express enough how much people kind of skip the treat step. So treatment would really be about what is your skin condition, and putting something on that's specifically targeting that. So is acne the concern? Is signs of aging the concern? This little line here that's trying to form, get that up like that, right? If we're having issues with redness, rosacea, whatever it is, adding a serum or a specific treatment in your regimen that is targeting that concern. So that's something that's very important to me, that we're not just doing the basics, wash and rinse and moisturize, but also treatment and keeping the cells turning over, keeping the skin fresh. So my last little bit is that we are franchising. So if this is a business that you have a passion around as well, I have probably made every mistake known to man and have figured it all out. So feel free to reach out if you have a passion for helping other people deal with their skin concerns and be able to live more confidently in the skin that they're in, this is a great business, and we would love to let you learn more about us and how you could potentially be someone to help spread the Zen.
Awesome. Angela, thank you so much, guys. There you have it. And I'm looking at Lisa is like, yes, definitely share. She's like, she's just in total agreement with everything that you have to say about skincare. And like I said, I am a fan because, again, like I said, I go to Angela personally, so I know how she has changed my skin around truly. And so, but like I said, her business is great, and she really knows her stuff. And like she said, you just can't focus on the commercials and focus on what you see on TV or social media, these quick fixes with stuff. You really have to take the time. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of those, let me put my, my cleanser on, my toner, barely probably put moisturizer on and expected magic to happen. But until connecting with her, I use probably about 5 products on my face a day, and some, not as much. I think you have to use less of some of the products like the vitamin C scrubs and stuff that I use. But I really realized just a bit, and I've been very committed and proud of myself too, because I already know, like, yeah, I can fall off, when it comes to that. So, and believe me, when I come in for my treatment, she can tell, did you use your Zen cloths? Did you use something? So she can tell if I've been missing a step. So that's just how in tune her and her staff is as it relates to, coming in and getting your services done. So Angela, thank you so much again for, coming on, and for you guys who have been out there watching. As I continue to close out, if you guys have any more questions, I'll be more than happy to put any questions or comments you have up there. But I will go ahead and put up Angela's information on here. So if you have any questions or want to contact her directly, you can go to harlemzen.com. And all of the information is on there, including the app that I developed. So you can also download the app where you can get a consultation. You can take a quiz on the app, and you can connect with a skincare pro on there. So there's so many elements, but make sure when you do, go ahead and fill out your full profile so she can know who you are, and she can connect with you. And you can contact her by phone, 646-389-3633. So again, this is, the great work that you're doing, Angela, like I said, and Lisa says, thank you. So it's just that, again, I just thought this was so important because, again, to your point, we do focus just on our hair. We focus just on other things, but, your face is the first thing that people see. Even if your hair is covered, still your face is the first thing that, so, we do need to do a better job with investing more in our appearance as far as our face, and making sure that we have that intact, just as well as we invest and take the time to invest in our hair and other in our dress and everything else that we do. So again, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe to my social media channels, _ Coach BJ. And also, for those of you who follow me, this Thursday is going to be the first Thursday talk of the month. And I'm going to be talking about money versus power. What do you value most? And after this talk, your answer may change after you hear what I have to say about that. So money versus power, I'm going to be talking about that. Same place, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this coming Thursday. So I look forward to seeing you all there. And again, thank you for your time and consideration today, taking time out of your day to come on to this spotlight today. Anyone that could benefit from this talk, please share this live with them, share this video. And for those of you who are watching the replay again, if you want to connect with Angela, again, that's harlemzen.com. So I want to thank you guys for watching today. As always, love you, appreciate you, and you guys take care. Bye.